GasNGo Nation, you're in for a treat this week. Joining the crew is the one, the only driver of the number 9 Junior Motorsports Chevrolet Camaro, Noah Gragson. Noah, it's awesome to have you here. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys?
We're hanging in, trying to get through the off season here and headed into Thanksgiving. We appreciate your time, though. I know it's a time to be with family, but we've got a lot of Noah Gragson fans that follow us, so I know they're excited. We've got some serious and some not so serious questions for you, so I hope you're ready.
I'm ready. I'm more than ready.
So I'm going to start you with a heavy hitter here. There was breaking news last week around you, sent some shockwaves throughout the NASCAR world. So I'm here today to get the bottom of it. What made you cut the mullet, and can we ever expect to see that thing in all of its glory back one day?
I was kind of over it. It started looking pretty rough, and I knew I was going to have to be around my family, my grandparents, and all my family back in Vegas for – I don't know if I'm really allowed to say that, but I'm going to go see my family. So during the holidays and everything, so I knew it was looking kind of ratty and kind of ugly. So I know there were some people who were a fan of it, but yeah, it just didn't look the cleanest. So I decided to cut it off, and it was kind of a bittersweet moment because I was ready for it to go, but I kind of wanted to see how far I could get it, how long I could get it. Not Rico Abreu long, but no, it was fun while it lasted, but with the season over, I was ready to cut it off, and I had a pretty ugly beard too that I shaved off before Phoenix. So yeah, back to looking more presentable for the family, I would say.
There you go. Well, I can understand that. You want to look sharp around the family, around the holidays, so can't blame you there. All right, but let's actually get into some serious questions here for you. I guess first off is a sort of look back on 2020. How do you assess your 2020 season? Good, bad, average, hit some goals? What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say we hit a majority of our goals. Obviously, we missed out on that Final Four at Phoenix this year, but overall, I'd say it was a success in our eyes. Being in it week in and week out, you kind of know the things that happen, and I felt like we did the best job that we could, given the situations we had and whatnot. Obviously, we let a few races slip away. At Homestead and maybe a couple other races, Texas and stuff like that, Phoenix. But overall, we came home with a couple wins at some pretty big name racetracks, Bristol, and winning the first race out at Daytona. That was a big one, getting my first career win. So I felt like we could have had maybe 4 or 5 when the year's all said and done, but not meant to be. So overall, I felt like we did a good job. A lot of top 5 finishes, not a lot of top 10 finishes, a lot of lap sleds. So we're in contention pretty much every week, which in my eyes, that's what you want as a race car driver. And I'm pretty sure that's what the team wants too. So everybody's really happy, really motivated with how the season went. We ended the year with 6 top 3 finishes out of the 7 playoff races. And then we're leading at Kansas and got in a wreck. So that was super unfortunate there, and that kind of took us out of contention to get to Phoenix. But I think everybody's really pumped up after those 6 top 3 finishes in the last 7 races. So everyone's super motivated for next year, and I am as well.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. We definitely noticed you were in contention a lot. And you mentioned Daytona and Bristol, the wins there, huge wins, a lot of top 5s. What does it take to turn those top 5s into wins, though? Is it just experience? Is it strategy? Is it both? Is it luck? Is it all of that?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is luck. You can't ask for any more than putting yourself in contention. And once you're doing that week in and week out, it just comes down to having that luck on your side and being able to be good. Some days you just are just flat out dominant. We were pretty dominant at Homestead. The first day, it was a doubleheader. We had a 16-second lead on second place, which was Dale Jr. They're coming with 6 laps to go, and there was a caution, and we just didn't have the short run. Then the next day we had a lead dominating the next day's race, and not able to make it happen again. Austin Cindric spun off of turn 4 when we were coming to the white flag. So all that aside, all you can ask for is just being in contention. There's a lot of variables that go into it, and sometimes you're on the right side of the things going on, and sometimes you're on the wrong side of it. But the most important thing to us is just being in contention, and then luck kind of takes over from there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think, like I said, we noticed you were in contention a lot, and the more you get up there, I think the more chances you have to win. Certainly, you're on the right team, I think, to give you the equipment and resources to do that. So, I mean, speaking of your team, I think everyone would say, is the top, if not one of the top, Xfinity Motorsport or Xfinity Series teams with Dale Jr. as your boss. Are you able to pick his brain about racing at all, especially maybe at like a restrictor plate or tracks where you haven't been before? Is he a guy that you can lean on for those conversations?
Yeah, Dale's been a very valuable asset to Junior Motorsports, and not only for myself but for our teammates as well. But I've grown a relationship with him over the past 2 years, and it's almost more like a big brother, little brother compared to a boss and the race car driver. So Dale Jr.'s been really good for myself. We talk a lot, kind of almost weekly or every other week. We'll talk and stuff. So obviously he's got a lot going on now, having 2 kids. But during race season, I'd pick his brain about more super speedway tracks. I kind of have my different guys I would go to depending on the track we're going to. Jimmy Johnson, I would lean on him a lot. Our teammates, Justin Allgaier, Michael Annette, lean on those guys a lot. So everybody that I've worked with over at Junior Motorsports, they've been really just kind of open-minded and just kind of like an open book to say. So being able to lean on Dale, he's been really good from the racing side, but he's also been good for the mental side for me, and kind of just ask him questions more about off-track stuff. And I'm growing up, maturing, and kind of figuring out this life as a 22-year-old. There's a lot that comes at you that you learn. So being able to talk to him more about the off-track stuff has been almost most valuable, and where I lean on him most.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm sure that's an incredible resource to have. So it begs the question, though. It sounds like you guys have a good relationship. Have you ever been thrown in Dale Jr.'s jail in his western town there on his property?
I haven't been thrown in the jail, but I have been out there a couple times to see his property. It's pretty badass. He's got so much stuff. I mean, it's crazy the property he's got, and you got the western kind of town, the Whiskey River town you mentioned.
Yeah.
He's got the graveyard out there with all the race cars, which is super cool. And then, I mean, there's so much stuff. He's got a couple like par 3 golf holes on his property, basketball court, and a shop mixed.
Oh man.
With like a little hangout spot. I mean, there's the go-kart trucks galore, big tree house. I mean, he's got it all. And so it was quite surreal being able to go out there and see that property. I've seen it a little bit on YouTube, and just in when I was younger, being able to watch YouTube videos of him and stuff, and seeing that place. But once you see it in person, it's pretty spectacular, and one of those things that I'll never forget, and very thankful to be able to get that opportunity to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, just think of us next time you get that invite. We're always down, ready to go at the any moment's notice. So
I will for sure.
All right. No, real quick, a couple more serious questions here. So I want to sort of give a look back here, and then maybe help out some novice fans here, guys that haven't actually been in a race car. So after completing 2 full years in trucks, 2 full years in Xfinity, which one do you think is harder to drive? And then do they compare it all to a cup car?
I've never driven a cup car, so I don't know really what a cup car drives like. I mean, I've driven it on the sim for Chevy Simulator quite a bunch, cup cars and stuff. Just when they need help with the tire modeling and stuff. But there's not a lot of difference. Let me take that back. I drove the old package before it was the 550 high downforce package. I drove the old school package, the 2018 package when it was low downforce, big motor, all that kind of stuff. And
Okay. Yeah.
that didn't really, it felt faster than the Xfinity car on the sim, but it wasn't a whole lot different. You didn't have to change a whole lot of stuff driving style wise, but you go from driving a truck to driving the Xfinity car. There's a big technique difference that I've had to learn, and it took me all of the 2019 season to really fine tune that finesse and that technique to drive the Xfinity car. So there's a lot of difference. To answer your question, I'd say the car that's harder to drive and to go fast would be the Xfinity car, but the car that's harder to race would be the truck, I would say, just because you have the car. It doesn't really differ that much from when you're by yourself in practice to when you're in dirty air behind guys. You might get a little loose behind guys or a little tight aero wise, but it stays relatively the same, where the truck, super easy to drive by yourself with a mile and a half. So you can hold it wide open at a lot of these tracks for the first handful of laps, and a lot of side force. I mean, you think about the truck, it's basically got a billboard on the right side of the truck. So the more you yaw it out, the more that billboard keeps you straight and whatnot. So a lot of downforce, a lot of side force on the trucks, really easy to drive when you're by yourself in practice and you get out there for the race. And I'd say that's the harder vehicle to actually race, just because you get squared up behind guys in traffic, and the roof is so high on the trucks, and the spoiler is so big that you just get an incredible amount of aero balance difference between being by yourself and behind guys. So the truck's really hard to make passes, and you're wide open for a lot of the racetrack in a truck, and you're right around the bottom at most of these places. So the only way to pass is to make the racetrack bigger, and then you're just losing time at that point. I think distance is more of a penalty than the momentum from running in a different lane. So cars harder to drive by yourself, trucks harder to race.
Interesting. No, that's a really, I appreciate that technical rundown. That's way more than I knew or even thought to know. So I appreciate that. And I mean, I got to give you kudos. You're good at driving both of them. So now I understand a little bit more about and when I watch. So I appreciate that. But moving along here, Noah. So I want to get a little bit into your racing in the Xfinity series, but I want to take it a different angle here. What do you think of the rule that limits the Cup drivers to only 5 Xfinity races a year? Do you think it's good, or would you like to see more of those guys run Xfinity races to sort of get that challenge and exposure of racing alongside of them?
I mean, if you think about it now, you don't really, I guess you used to have your Penske Cup guys who would run every single race. I guess that's kind of taken them away. And but that might be the only other team who's running full time with Cup guys in it, other than Kyle Busch and the Xfinity car.
Exactly.
There's not a lot of other drivers Cup guys who are running more than 5 races a year. So, it's fun running against those Cup guys. It's fun, but it's not fun. It's fun when you beat them, but it's very challenging to beat them. But my goal is to get to the Cup Series, and who are we going to be racing the Cup Series? Those guys. So it's good to be able to race them in the Xfinity Series and be able to have that opportunity to just learn from them. you don't really get that much opportunity to learn from them. You're only racing against guys who you're racing. We do have a lot of ex-Cup guys in the field. You think about it right now. We got Justin Allgaier, he raced in Cup for a handful of years. You got Michael Annett, he's raced in Cup for a handful of years. Jeb Burton, Daniel Hemrick, the list goes on and on. And so when you think about that, you're still racing against Cup competitive guys or guys who have been at that level. So I think the Xfinity Series is hard to compete in. There's a lot of great race car drivers out there, and so it's still rewarding to beat those guys. But when you can beat a Kyle Busch or a Brad Keselowski or somebody in that nature, you're like, holy shit, that's badass right there.
Yeah, that is awesome. I think it's fun watching Xfinity guys like yourself run against them, because I mean, it shows the talent that you've got too. And so, yeah, I mean, I always like watching that. But you guys put on a great show every weekend, regardless if they're there or not. But like you mentioned, the Cup Series is the goal. So what do you see as your best path to get in a quality Cup car? I mean, is it staying in the top flight Xfinity car like you've got? Is it taking a chance at that maybe lower level Cup car and just improving it on raw talent? Do you have that sort of laid out in your mind at all?
Not really. My really focus right now is to win the Xfinity Series championship next year and win races. It's there's some opportunities, not a lot, but I think with some of these guys retiring, it opens up a few of these seats and an opportunity for young drivers like myself to maybe get in a quality race car, one of those. I kind of grade them A, B, C, D level cars, and the goal is to get into an A car to prove your talent. Every once in a while you might have a spectacular run, and you see guys like Matt DiBenedetto do that, and other guys like that. But those really come every once in a blue moon, and you definitely have a lot better opportunity of showing your talent week in and week out if you're in one of those premier level rides. So the goal for me, I haven't really laid them out. The goal is to get in one of those top Cup cars one day, but right now it's just about focusing on what I can control, and that's trying to win races and be a contender each and every weekend, and show these Cup teams, hey, I'm worthy of you taking a risk for me, and doing it with Bass Pro Shops and True Timber, Black Rifle Coffee. Those guys have been a great support of mine throughout the past season and onwards to next season. So I'm excited to see where we can take that relationship and ultimately try to get in one of those top premier level Cup Series rides.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, we're definitely rooting for you to get there. And but all right, I mean, I think that's enough serious questions for one podcast. But so what I want to do now is get to know you a little bit better through some rapid fire questions. So I got about 8 here, quick yes or no, or either or. So just give me a short answer for each. We'll keep it moving fast. And I'll get it started with hunting or fishing.
Fishing.
All right. I saw you grabbed a couple of largemouths the other day. Those were some nice looking fish. So
yeah, it was fun. I mean, I'm not the biggest fisherman coming from Las Vegas, or the biggest hunter. So I've been learning as I've been going, and it's definitely becoming more of a passion of mine. If you would have asked me 4 or 5 years ago, hunting or fishing, I would have said neither. But I've been exposed to that world now, and I'll tell you, it's quite a bit of fun. I have a good time with it, and it's quite relaxing, to say the least, is being able to go out there. And I like catching fish. I'm not really the most patient, so if I'm not catching fish, I get a little bored. But it's all good fun when you can reel those suckers in.
Yeah, I hear you. Sounds like you and I are the same type of fisherman. So, all right. So let's keep it moving here. Short tracks or super speedways?
Both.
All right, we'll give you that.
All tracks except for New Hampshire. All tracks except for New Hampshire.
Except for New Hampshire. All right, I got that written down. All right, pit strategy: 4 tires and fuel, or gas and go. And there's only one right answer here.
4 tires and fuel.
Oh man, it's the gas and go.
No chance. You're gonna be you're gonna be sitting there asking your crew chief, what were those things, and those things come flying by you on 4 tires.
That's funny. All right, iPhone or Android?
Android.
All
No,
right.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Absolutely iPhone for me. No chance on an Android for me. Absolutely
I was
zero
gonna
shot.
skip that answer. All right. Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
Okay. All right. It's Thanksgiving this week. Favorite Thanksgiving side dish?
All right, this is not popular. I'm not a big fan of Thanksgiving.
Oh man.
Like the meal,
Yeah.
like just turkey and ham just doesn't do it for me. I guess if it's a good stuffing, I'll eat the side of stuffing if it's good. But if it's got too much in it, I just don't. I'm not a big fan. Like I'd rather go out and get like teriyaki chicken and like fried rice at like a hibachi restaurant or something. Like I don't know why we can't just do that on Thanksgiving. It's thank God we don't have like 20 Thanksgivings a year because I'd be pretty pissed. I guess I could do miss one meal a year on Thanksgiving. It's pretty much what I do right now, or I'll go eat beforehand and then act like I'm not hungry, but
Yeah.
I'm really full from food before. So
That's funny. That's funny. All right. Would you rather get a phone call or a text?
depends on who. I guess if it's it could be like, oh, you really f***ed up or you really screwed up, Noah. That I'd rather almost get the phone call because it leaves you wondering. Like I'm pretty fast with my replies, and I'm pretty on my toes with my wording. So if I get a phone call, I'll be able to like spit something off the top of my head real quick, and like if I really messed up and be able to explain it. Where a text, it just leaves you wondering. So I guess I'd rather get a phone call, maybe a FaceTime. I'm a big FaceTime guy. I don't really call people. I just FaceTime them.
Yeah, that's a sort of a mix of both. So I should. That's a new technology. We'll do that next time. Phone call, text, or FaceTime.
Like if I'm say to my buddies, hey, I'm coming over, and I get to their front door, I'm gonna FaceTime them, yo, I'm here, instead of like text them. I don't know, it's weird. Like I just FaceTime a lot. I don't really call.
Interesting. All right, I gotta start doing that. All right, so we know you don't like Thanksgiving. Hamburger or hot dog?
Both. I'm more of a hamburger guy, 9 out of 10, but I feel like I kind of have this weird craving. I've had it for a couple of years. I've never had it yet. It's kind of stupid because I could just make it, but I want to get a hamburger or like a cheeseburger and then grill a hot dog, like super grilled, not like charred where it's black, but just where it's like wrinkly, like almost like a Slim Jim. That's how I like my hot dogs, and just eat them when they cool down a little bit.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I want to split a hot dog down the middle and kind of open it up, like butterfly it, and then put that on the hamburger, and then it be a hamburger dog.
Oh man! All right, it sounds like a food
Wouldn't that
truck.
be good?
Yeah. All right, last one, the most important one. You can't avoid it. Toilet paper. Are you a fold or Crumble guy?
Crumble.
Crumble. All right.
Like scrunch it up.
Yeah. Or do you
Yeah.
fold when you're doing what you do with that?
Yeah, I mean, I like scrunch it up, and like crumble it up. I guess I've seen those people wrap it around their hand. I think that's kind of weird, but I don't know.
That's a good answer. Good answer. All right. Well, we ran you through the ringer there a little bit. Appreciate the answers. That was a lot of fun. I got a couple more here for you. Let's get to your fighting side. You had a run-in this year with Harrison Burton, and from the short, sort of blocked clips that we saw, you definitely got in a mean right hook. So I'm going to turn the Xfinity series into MMA real quick. Give me one Xfinity driver you definitely would not want to face in the octagon.
BJ McLeod.
That's a good one. I had Josh Williams on my mind, but BJ is good too.
Josh is a big son of a bitch too. But when Harrison, okay, I'll explain to you guys. Harrison came up to me after the race, and he's like, yo, that's the second time now. Like, I'm just taking my shit off. I'm getting my helmet off, taking my earbuds out. I'm taking my Hans deal off. And he comes up. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, we got into it on the track. So he comes up and he's like, that's twice now. I'm like, twice for what? And he said, that's the second time you've wrecked me. I'm like, all right. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That sucks, man. Like, where's the first? He's like, Charlotte, a couple weeks ago on the final restart. I'm like, yeah, man, that sucks. I don't really know what to tell you. Like, sucks for you. And he's like, if you wreck me again, I'm gonna start beating your ass. And he like gave me a little shove, the first one. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm like, what the f is start beating your ass? Like, what does that mean? He's like, if you wreck me again, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm like, well, do something about it. He's like, I will. I'm like, no, like right now, like fucking do something about it. I'm right here, do something about it. And then he's like, I will. And he shoved me again and came at me. And then I gave him the first right. And I kind of missed the front of his head. If I would have got him in the face, it would have been a big one. But I got him kind of in the ear on his left side ear, kind of the back of the head, which kind of sucked because I threw a mean one down. But what you guys don't see and what he fails to tell people, and I kind of just keep my mouth shut just to give him the benefit of the doubt, just to make him not look like such a you-know-what. But I got his ass pretty good. So I gave him the right. I missed the left. And then you can kind of, if you rewatch the clip, you kind of, the last second you see me come up and my elbow, like a gray elbow comes up and then hammers back down. I got him going down across his face. Then got him choked out, and I had his neck in my left arm, went down, and I took him to the ground. I got on my back and wrapped my legs around him and, like, kind of crossed my legs to, like, lock him in around his body. And now he's sitting in there, like in the fetal position. I got him all choked up, twisted on his neck, wrenching on his neck. And he's over here, like, we're on the ground. I mean, we're in between two cars. It's probably 4 feet in between these two cars because all those cars were parked together. So then I look up. I'm on my back. I look up. He has not got a shot in, and I'm doing all the work. It's like a one-way street over here. And so I look up, and it's Dex imaging. Like 4 of his big ass crew guys are like looking down at me, and they're like, beat his ass, Harrison. And so I'm choking him out, and he's like, I'm squeezing as hard as I can. And I'm in his ear, and I'm like, are you allowed to cuss on this?
You are now.
All right. Well, I don't know if I should say this, but I'm just going to tell you what I said on the ground. I'm like, are you done, you effing kitty cat? And then I'm choking him out. That wasn't the exact words I used, but I'm just spark noting it for you guys. And I'm choking them out, and then they came over, and you know, if you're gonna push me, I'll give you 1, but 2, you're just a little from there. So some guys, you know, you make your peace, but Harrison Burton, come on, you got to take that opportunity.
Well, I mean, hey, that's an awesome recap because I actually rewatched the replay in advance of this because I wanted to like see it again. And you're exactly right. He pushed you twice, and then you came with that right, and then you sort of couldn't see anything else because you guys just sort of disappeared. But now we know what happened down there. We appreciate that.
And you know, I've never told that story really publicly, so you guys are the first.
There we go. Hey, that's awesome. We appreciate it. And we're just sparking the next great NASCAR rivalry with you guys. So
I haven't talked to him since. Only time I talk to him is like I'll tell somebody if they actually do like a good job and like straight up like kick everyone's ass. And so I told him good job after Martinsville, but I haven't talked to him since. So I'll give it to him. He whooped our ass in Martinsville, but I don't know about the rest of them.
Yeah, well, you got all next year to get it back, so we'll watch for it there. All right, well, no, this has been a lot of fun. I got just a few more questions here. We're taking up a lot of your time, but
no, you guys are good. I like it. It's fun.
Our big thing on here is paint schemes. So I gotta ask you.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
All right. So first off, congrats on the Bass Pro True Timber Black Rifle announcement for 2021. That's awesome. We're huge Bass Pro fans. I was actually just there the other day and picked up a die cast of yours. So be looking out for the royalties on that in the mail anytime soon. But okay, so here's a hot seat question. Who has the best Bass Pro paint scheme besides you? So Martin Truex Jr. or Austin Dillon?
I don't know. I kind of like that car Austin Dillon ran this year. Other than the funky, that like Dale Earnhardt Sr.'s throwback deal, other than that funky little deal they did under the number, I thought that looked pretty clean. Yeah. They both look good, though. They both look, the orange pops on both of them, they look good.
Yep, the Bass Pro always looks good, including yours. So what's your favorite personal paint scheme? You ran a couple different ones. You know, Bass Pro, you can say that one. Anything else personal?
I would probably have to say the 2013 Kyle Larson Clorox car. I thought that was a pretty clean looking car, that 32 car that he ran for Turner Scott.
Oh, all right.
I thought that was a pretty clean looking car. I don't know why. There's nothing really to it, but I don't know if it was just the story behind him flipping up into the fence and everything. But I have that die cast. I really like that one.
Oh, that's cool.
I liked Dale Jr.'s Mountain Dew Xbox One car. I think he ran it at Talladega. It was all like that Mountain Dew lime green, with like huge Mountain Dew logo as the paint scheme, and it kind of looked all wild. I like that one. Kyle Busch's Rowdy Noss car. It had some chrome streaks on it, which I thought looked really cool. He ran it at Vegas in 2018 spring race, I want to say. 2017, 2018 spring race. Okay. One of those two.
Yeah.
That looked really cool in the sun. So probably those three.
Nice. All right. That's good. All right. So I was actually looking back at your paint schemes in 2020, and I couldn't help but notice that the side skirts weren't painted in some of them. And I thought that was like Dale Jr.'s bugaboo. What's up with that? How come the side skirts weren't painted?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it.
Well, for us you are, so it's up to you.
Let's just say it's speed.
Gotcha. We can we read you loud and clear. We won't ask anymore. We will know.
Let's just say that. But Daytona, we had them painted.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I did notice that they were in some of them, but all right, that's good to know.
But it's has to do a little bit with some speed stuff.
Well, we want you to have all the speed you can out there, so understood.
But I like them painted. Painted is way better.
Yeah, I do too. And, you know, I heard Dale Jr. on his podcast talking about how he always wanted his painted when he was with DEI. So I was surprised, but now we know.
I made a bet with him. I made a bet with Dale. We were like playing PUBG one night or something on the iPads, and it was probably 2-3 a.m. We're playing PUBG, all of us, myself, a couple buddies, Tim Duggar, country guy. Yeah. We all used to play that stuff, be really into it. And I made a bet. I said, after I win my first race this year, we get painted side skirts for every race. He said, deal. We went out there and won won Daytona, and the rest has been non-painted side skirts. So that's funny how that stuff works, huh?
Yeah, sometimes the boss has to.
But it's not his call; it's crew chief's call.
All right. So, all right, we won't blame it all on Dale Jr. He's escaped that scrutiny for now. All right, but no, that's all I got, man. We really appreciate the time. You know, keep grinding, keep doing your thing. We'll be out there rooting for you, and hopefully we can get you back on in the future or see you at a track next year or something.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me on, and I hope to do it again here soon. Maybe hopefully I could have something to talk about here soon with you guys or something. Maybe do something cool or something where you guys want me back. So I don't know when that'll be, but hopefully one day.
We'll keep our ear to the ground. You let us know, or we'll be in touch, man. Have a good one. And,
sounds good.
Cool.
I appreciate it, guys.